This was after it looked like it's the storylines of qualifying. It's mental. Throughout the week, it had looked like Callum Ilott was the favourite to be bumped because his 77 Juncos car was a dog. It was so slow, wrecking loose all the time. They could not get any speed into it. Right at the 11th hour, as in Friday, I believe it was, they decided to change chassis. And the first lap that Ilott was able to turn in that chassis was in warm-up for qualifying on Saturday morning. And he then just had to send it in the 2 runs he had during Saturday qualifying. And miraculously, he was able to find enough speed to avoid the last row. So all of a sudden, you had 3 Rahals and the coin car battling for the final spot. It's just unprecedented. Rahal really, really dropped the ball with their cars this year. Catherine Legg, the fourth Rahal car, which ironically was the only one that isn't full-time this year, was just able to avoid the last row shootout. Otherwise, it would have been all 4 of them fighting for the final 3 spots in the field. So then we transition into Sunday. We'll start off with the fight for pole position. Ultimately, it was Alex Palou who was able to get pole position with a record-setting pole run for the Indianapolis 500. He ended up running... I've completely lost it now. An average speed of 234.217 across the 4 laps. Rinus VK was second. And when you convert the speed, because it's all measured in speed, when you convert it back to time, across the 4 laps, they were separated by 4 thousandths of a second. It's just unbelievably close. That works out to, I have it written down here, 41 centimeters after 4 laps, 10 miles of Indianapolis. 0.0004 seconds. It's faster than the amount of time it takes a human being to blink. That's 16.49 inches.
Pretty close.
It's just utterly crazy.
I mean, it's so long. It's more than a foot. It's not that close.
It's
not that close.
Stop it.
A foot, a whole foot.
After 4 laps, at 234 miles an hour, mental. It's just unbelievably close. So yeah, you had that amount of margin. The top 3 were in the same 10th of a second. You had Felix Rosenquist qualify 3rd after leading the previous day and the Fast 12 shootout earlier in the day. Santino Ferrucci, AJ Foyt, their team has not been very quick in the last few years, it's fair to say. They've really struggled. Both of their cars got through to the Fast 12 pole position shootouts. Ferrucci qualified 4th, and he very much looked like a threat for pole position. He was 2nd in the Fast 12 shootout before the Fast 6. As much as I don't like the dude, it's so cool to see Ferrucci and Pedersen and AJ Foyt up there mixing it with the big guys. Like, both Foyt cars outqualified all of the Penske's and all of the Andretti's. Amazing performance, and you've got to credit that to the fact that they signed Mick Cannon from Ganassi, Mike Cannon, I should say, from Ganassi. You know, he's worked his magic with their Indy 500 program over the last few years, and he's done it again with Foyt. So really, really cool to see that kind of giant killing performance from Foyt. Ferrucci will lead the second row of the grid with Pato O'Ward and Scott Dixon just behind. Dixon unable to take what would have been a historic 3rd consecutive pole position for the 500.
This is Into the Apex Motorsport Podcast Network.